closing my eyes, but I didn't understand how it works.
Right, right.
And during that time, I'm a very creative person. Like
Right.
I have good ideas.
Okay.
And I came up with this really great idea that it might change the way we communicate between each other,
Okay.
which is called card social.
All right.
I have the application written down. All of that functionalities, how it's going to make money, everything, what it's going to solve to people. I have a group that is asking me for coding, but to be honest, I met somebody, I'm doing Uber at this moment.
Okay.
I met somebody that told me, you know what, you should definitely try to see if you can get other people like on these type of meetups. Where you could find somebody that could actually code that for you.
Alright.
And you can start with low income instead of just coding, paying somebody to do your idea, right?
Right.
So, I mean, this is my first time, to be honest. I was by myself until you guys popped up today.
Perfect.
Well, I'm struggling of also, my pain points would be to raise money if I want to do it with these people.
Okay.
Or to be surrounded by people who are, in that field and is looking forward to this project.
Well, I think the events I'm going to be mentioning later on will help you even more after this. So, welcome. Appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Ryan. I live in Austin. I'm from Southern California. I founded a small supplement company. We sell blue lotus flowers and blue lotus gummies, and we're expanding into some new products. My pain points are like you said earlier. I was trying to not sell equity for a long time, but now I'm seeing other companies do what I want to do, and I feel really, if I had an infinite time scale, I could scale it.
Sure.
But I feel very undercapitalized to reach my goals at the speed that I want to. So I'm starting to look for angel investors and just any sort of creative, not specifically that, but like maybe something I'm not thinking of.
Okay.
And then what brought me here tonight is one of my goals is by the spring to be remote with this business.
Okay.
And so I want to learn some.
Perfect. Welcome. Thank you. Yes. All right. In the back.
Hi, my name is Mauro Hamiko, and I'm originally from Ghana, and I've been in the US for 8 years.
Okay.
Started as student, and then now I'm currently working with Microsoft. So I used to work in the AI space, working as an applied scientist for Microsoft, and we are considering moving to Austin, so I'm there for just a few days.
All right.
And been thinking about getting into the startup space, and try to get my feet real bit into startups.
Well, this is the place.
So it's events, and I was really interested in and these elements that I was working in that space.
And I will tell you, this class flies by, so unfortunately. But yeah, you'll get a lot out of this tonight. So, well, thank you. Yes.
Frank, you can say I'm from Austin. It's been a long time. When I'm working, I'm looking for business ideas, but now that I hear about pie, I'm going to start. And that's actually some of my pain point is finding pain points actually. I can find pain points, but I'm not just attracted to them.
Sure.
So I'm trying to find that perfect pain point I can marry to.
Okay.
That's what I'm here. I'm just here to learn more about AI.
Basically, what you just heard him say, if you have problems, please go here.
Okay. AI problems.
Okay, AI problems. So, all right, thank you. Yes.
My name is John. I'm from Austin. I live here now, but I'm originally from Dallas. I'm working on like a AI chatbot tool, so just kind of building that as much as I can. Pain points would just be kind of learning more about this because every time I come here, I feel like I learn something new.
Okay.
And what brought me back tonight was the previous class, which was great. So
thank you. Awesome. Yes. All right. Perfect. All right. So, you, sir, in the back.
Came in late, but my name's Nassim. Originally from the Houston area. I've been in Austin for 7 years. I'm not directly in this space. I'm in the legal field, but I have a couple of startup ideas and stuff.
Okay.
One would be medical price transparency, something where people who don't have health insurance can find a place to get an MRI or something.
Okay.
And there's some other ideas and stuff. So those are some main points that I'm here to learn.
Perfect. Welcome. This is the place. All right. And Annette? Yes.
Hey, my name is Annette, and I've been doing software consulting for the past 8 years, and I also have my own immigration consulting business, but I'm here to learn more about other ideas that I can do
Good.
to have more money.
All right, I know, right?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, let's get into this. All right, so the latest AI news, okay? So can everybody see this? I mean, I know it's kind of like small, but what it's showing here is the latest AI news for revenue growth and also what's happening and where the rankings are falling. So if you see like Azure is above OpenAI in terms of revenue growth, so they're at $3.9 billion as of this year, and they've had 130% growth rate. So OpenAI is only at 3.4 billion, and they're at 113% growth rate right now. And if you look further down, you start to see all these other companies here. How many here know every single one of them? You have Amazon, Google, obviously, you have Scale, Accenture, Vast, Jasper, Lean, Complexity, Cohere, Harvey, Runway, HeyGen, all those things. Who here knows that entire list? It's okay to say, I don't know anybody. Who knows Harvey, by the way? I'm just curious if you know Harvey. Really? So Harvey is actually part of the OpenAI team, and they are the legal component that they provide to very large law firms. And so if you have a team of maybe 1,000 more lawyers in-house, you're probably using Harvey already. You probably don't know about Harvey because you probably don't work in the legal field, but I mention that because Harvey is a big deal out in that space. So their numbers are 25 billion, and they have 150% growth rate. But yeah, I knew about them probably about 2 years ago, and a lot of firms that are here, like New York, a lot in Dubai, a lot in London, they definitely use Harvey because now you don't have those junior lawyers who are doing drafting, they're doing like contract reviews, all those things. Harvey can do all that stuff. So you just bring in the information, Harvey goes in, creates the contract, and humans go in and kind of like review the details. But it is a game changer in terms of like what's happening. Yes.
Will Harvey help you out do a patent or a copyright?
It can do all that stuff. The only challenge is like it's really only for large law firms. So a individual really does not have access to that because it's also very expensive. So yes. But there are the legal field that's coming around with AI tools like Legal Robot, and then Do Not Pay. Those are more for like consumer products.
So legal robot?
Yeah, Legal Robot and then Do Not Pay. So, but you'll notice at the very bottom for HeyGen, they had a 1,900% gain. So you'll see like a lot of these smaller companies are still in the $20 to $50 million range in revenue. So they're doing really well. But that shows you like there's still more in play here. Like we're still in the beginning stages. So let's go further. Ready? On this list right here, who can say they know every single one of the products? And if you want to move closer, please move closer. Yeah. Yes, I don't want you to hurt your eyes. I'm not eye doctor. If you know at least 5 of these, I would be very surprised. Okay? Just because this right here shows you the top 50 right now in the market that are movers. Okay? This is the ones that are making millions of dollars. This is the ones that have millions of active users every month. And you're starting to see where the big players are coming. Anything that you notice about these names?
Janitor AI.
Okay.
What is that?
So, I'll get to that one in a minute. Janitor, yes, I know. That one always throws people off, right? It's really there just to clean up your writing, by the way. All right, so what is spicy chat? Right, okay. But what is it solving?
Loneliness.
Very good. That's the problem, okay? So spicy chat is adult avatar conversations, and you can build these things yourself, right? And it's a big market. So if we go further, if you look at Yao Dalio at the very, like this number 19 right there, that's anime adult avatars. And that's a big market too, right? So you're tuning in to niche markets, And you'll start to see a lot of these deal with avatars and basically conversation with chatbots. And that's where the money is. So you have ChatGPT at the top, but you notice character AI is second. And that's because character AI allows you to go in and create all kinds of avatars to your liking. You can create your own avatars as well. You can do your own prompting, you can do your own building, customize it. But that tells you, like, this is what people are looking for. So if you go further, you have complexity, and then you have plot, and you have Suna. Who can tell me what Suna does? Okay. Alright, anybody can tell me what plot does?
Claude's just like a ChatGPT.
Right, but why is Claude better?
I think it's more geared towards writers.
Okay.
Like
Anything else?
It just speaks to you differently than ChatGPT. It's less like formulating.
Right, okay.
Totally.
Right. What can complexity do that ChatGPT cannot really?
Verifying sources.
Yes, and what else? It can actually do deep web research. And it can really go out there and fine tune that stuff, and you can get the references of where it's pulling all that stuff from. That to me is really cool, because now you see where it's like getting its information from, and it shows you all the links. Probot, those are all for writers. So if you're trying to either use AI to paraphrase something, rewrite something, those are big for writing, for bloggers, for marketing agencies, and 11 Labs. Who is familiar with 11 Labs? We're going to be playing with 11 Labs later on, but I'm just curious to know if you know what that is.
Yeah, it's the voice synthesizer.
Right. Well, why is that a big deal now?
It's going to be automated. You can say whatever you want.
Yes, exactly, yes. So if you take that notion, what is another market that's growing, but that we as people who use our voice every day don't pay attention to? People who have ASL, who have genetic disorders that don't allow them to speak, but they have previous recordings of their voice, so they can now take that, clone it, and now they can speak again, right? So you have a lot of nonprofit foundations that are basing off that kind of work with 11 Labs, and they're bringing people's voices back. Okay. So we all know Hugging Face, Luma, and then Candy, Crush On. Candy, Crush On is just like Spicy Chat. Like, it's just another market for that. And if you notice, like, some of the key takeaways here, about 30% of the companies are all new to the market, right? So Perplexity ranks 3, just for what it can really do. And you'll notice ByteDance, even though it's known for TikTok, it has a lot of apps that it's bringing to the market. So, all right, let's keep going. All right, now these are Gen AI mobile apps, okay? How many of these here, right here, do you know? And why is Discord such a big deal?
I think I got an answer for that.
Sure.
A lot of these AI companies are using it as a front end, so they don't all have to build their own app
Right.
for users.
Absolutely, yes. But it does what as well? It builds community. It builds that community, and now you can have premium channels, now you can have other stuff, you can do upgrades, things like that. So you'll notice, like, especially with Midjourney, Leonardo, all those kinds of things, like Dolly, they have Discord environments, right? You can go in there, run it, and now if you want to pay more, then you don't necessarily have to go to Discord to do that, but that's what they're doing, like, they're building their numbers. Any others that pop out to you? Good, okay.
Just for like photo retouching.
Sure, absolutely, yes.
I use Copilot and Bing quite a bit.
Good. Anybody here on Adobe Express playing with any of the cool tools that they've released? Because they've done some amazing stuff. In fact, you could probably build an entire business off of what they've been doing.
What is that? What is it?
So Adobe Express is basically just their creative suite of products like Photoshop, Illustrator, things like that. But what they've been doing now is they're releasing these smaller products that are kind of separate from that package deal, right? And now they're having to where you can create your own animation, and now you can do your own like audio cleanups, and now you can go in and do all kinds of like video translations, and it basically shows you like, hey, now you can be an animation studio from your laptop. You don't need to hire animators anymore. You can go and take a static image, and then you can throw it into like an Adobe, I think it's animation pro or something, and it will take that static image and then turn it into animation for you. And go ahead.
Is that a new product that you need to buy it, or is that?
No.
Does it require like a Creative Cloud subscription?
I mean, like, the full version is, yes, right? Like, they give you, like, free stuff up front. But if you want to go further, but again, if you're really smart on how to use this stuff, you can really just, like, piecemeal it, right? Like, you can have, like, 2 characters talking and do your 5 seconds of script, 5 seconds here, and then you can piecemeal it together, throw it into, like, let's say, I think it's, my gosh, what is it? Clipchamp, yes. Then you can have that video editor do that. CapCut is the one I was thinking of, CapCut. You can throw it into there, and then now you have an animation thing all done. And you did it straight from your laptop. Because you can take 11 labs, and then what's going to happen is, I'm going to show you all this later, but you can take the voice, add it to the animation, it will match the lip syncing, and then now you have a cartoon. So why is that a big deal? Like, this is where we have to start thinking like entrepreneurs, right? Like, we have to really understand, like, these tools are here, and now you need to know how to make money with them. Yes?
Well, for me, I want to make videos on TikTok because you can sell products really easily.
Very good, yes. Okay, what else?
YouTube.
Okay, what else? Because there's a big market for something that every company needs, and it's a certain type of video. A what? You were close. You were close. You're very close. But no. You need a explainer video. How many times have you seen explainer videos now? And those are popping up like crazy. Because now, instead of you sitting there trying to perfect your pitch, you have an animated explainer video right there for you on your phone. This is what we do. Alright, so here's some events that you need to know about. Tomorrow night is AITX. It's happening here at 5th floor, 5 p.m. from 5 to 7. So if you have nothing to do, please come by. So AITX usually has over 100 people working in the AI space. They'll be on the 5th floor. Fiesta brings in probably over 200 people in the community. They're going to have pitches, competition, food. Both of them will have food and drinks. Okay, so yes.
I will be pitching tomorrow at the end.
Oh, perfect. Yes, awesome. Good.
Crazy nervous.
Okay, yeah, yes. And now for the big stuff coming up in the city. These are all big conferences. These are all talks. And I do believe Generative AI World Summit and I think Tech Forward Conference is still looking for speakers if you're interested. So search their websites, and then if you want to submit, please do. So, and Spice World, just out of curiosity, what do you think that is?
Spice Girls, obviously.
Oh, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
the only
yes.
thing in my head.
I just want to be fair on that, yeah. So Spice World is an IT conference that's going to be coming up in Austin. It's for 2 days. And so it is kind of a big deal. So if you're looking to get tickets, do it now or look for a discount or something. But yeah, if you're in that space or you want to see what other companies are doing, definitely keep a lot of stuff on your radar. So. I will be floating between 5th floor and 1st floor tomorrow, just because they're both at the same time. It's kind of hard to deal with.
What's Fiesta?
So Fiesta is basically like founders, entrepreneurs, investors, advisors, things like that, and they come in. So they're going to have like 6, 7 companies pitching for 1 minute. Everybody gets to see what they're doing, and then after that, it's food, drinks, and networking, and then you get to talk to people who just pitched. So yeah, but it's a good way to network and build your community. So, all right, let's keep going. So here's your exercise. I'm going to show you this tool, okay? And you're going to have to come up with a business real quick. I will give you 5 minutes, and don't freak out. Alright, so it's this one. I'm hoping the sound works, by the way. I have not tested the sound in this room. Jesus. Okay. I don't. That's fine. All you need to know is what this tool does.
Turn on the captions.
There. So you're going to take a 2D image, and then it turns it into a 3D image, okay? Alright, so now that means you can take all kinds of stuff and you can turn it into a 3D image, right? I will leave it at that. You get 5 minutes to come up with a business plan, okay? And figure out how to turn that into money. You need to watch more? So look what he does further. Okay, so it just came out, but it's going to get better in the next couple months. Okay, so with that said, 5 minutes. It's stable, fast 3D. If you want to look it up on your phone, if you want to play with it, figure it out. Think in terms of like, what could you do with those kinds of things? This is to get you to think like an entrepreneur. Very good. Yes, please. Use an AI tool. So remember, you can upload a static image 2D and mix it 3D. So I'm going to put that timer there. I'm going to go back to here. And these are what you need to come up with. We're working on an exercise right now. So if you want to look up on your phone, stable, fast 3D, and they're trying to come up with a quick business plan using that tool and creating 3 different types of products. About 2 minutes, 20 seconds. seconds. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right. About 40 seconds. I'm very curious to see what y'all come up with. Should be $1 million right out of the gate. Alright, less than 20 seconds. Alright, and that's time. Alright, so I'm curious to see what people came up with. Who wants to go and volunteer first? It's okay if you're shy. I get it. Yeah. Okay, yes.
I guess I'll go first. This one's a bit weird,
Okay.
but like for people that have like deceased like pets or something.
Sure.
So like old photos of their pets, we could take those photos and then 3D model them and then use 3D printers so people could have like a lasting memory of
Yeah.
like, their pets or like beloved ones and stuff like that.
And there's a huge market for that. You know? Yes. Everybody like that idea? Yes? It works? There's a market? Okay, perfect. Dead animals is where it's at. Okay, perfect. Did you come up with any more?
Well, I mean, so I think maybe I interpreted it wrong. I thought you meant like one idea and like 3 possible products.
Okay.
So like my products would be like animals and then like loved ones and stuff like
Sure.
stuff like that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright, good. Alright.
So the first one's probably the best one is for e-commerce. So for any new product they come out, they just turn it into a 3D model.
Okay.
And then they put on the website because then they can, you can change angles,
Sure.
essentially enhance the visual content. You can
Right.
zoom in.
Yep.
You can see the whole product.
Okay.
Just that's through the 3D.
Yep.
And you can have a subscription basis, which is pretty good market for that.
Okay.
And then there's a second one for education where you transform 2D diagrams and maps into interactive 3D models. So
Mhm.
students can, also just maneuver around what it is and zoom in on stuff.
Right.
It's kind of more engaging as well, just instead of looking at a plain 2D thing with 3D, and you can move around it. So it's
Okay,
pretty
good.
engaging.
So like architecture, interior design stuff?
Exactly, like similar to that, yeah.
Okay, good. Alright, good. Anybody else? Yes?
Mine's not too far off from that. So it's like a home design website experience app where someone can walk through their house and digitize everything and then be able to move furniture around if they want to.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I was also thinking that you were talking about sub businesses when you put that.
Okay.
So I thought down that path, which is that you could do like create a marketplace for designers. Maybe the future of interior design is going to kind of turn into a more remote type thing. Someone can have like a thriving online business in the same way that maybe like the health coach does or something, where they have consultations with people, but they're working on this 3D model because it's so easy now to turn 2D into 3D.
It is, yes. In fact, now there's AI tools to build out video game environments and video game objects and characters and things like that.
Yeah.
So I actually compiled a list of like websites that have like 3D models that you can take and really refine and sell. And these marketplaces allow you to build like video game like objects, right? Like a gun, like a plant, grass, things like that. You can take this stuff and then you can put it into a marketplace and you can sell that.
Yeah, you
So-
can find like little art packs or something.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, so there's one that I know where like you have like really rough renderings of like dinosaurs, right? And those are like $20. And then if you want like the high detail, you can see the skin texture and all this stuff, it's like $2,000, $3,000. And people buy this because when you're making movies, you need those detailed models to put into the video editor and really make sure you get the right lighting and the effects and all those things, But yeah, yes.
And then another way to build on that is, of course, big companies are going to want to get on that. IKEA is going to want to have their products available that you can stick in your own home.
Yes, and that's why like stuff like this now allows you to build out 3D models. You don't necessarily have to 3D print them, but that's an option, right? And people want 3D objects that they can manipulate, that they can do, especially if you're a kid, and now you can go and use stuff like this and take a picture of like your cool toy, and you can upload it, and now it's like in your video game, and now you can like move it and play with it, right? That's really cool, Anybody else over here? Yes.
And my first idea was something to do with adult content. Second idea would be like skins for video games.
Yep. Okay.
Fortnite people pay a bunch of money for.
Oh, they do. Tell me. Yeah, absolutely.
Designs. Third one would be kind of like the pet thing, but kids could design custom 3D printed toys or like figurines or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know a cool idea that I told a realtor one day. I said, you know what you can do? You can take a picture of the house that they just bought, and now you can have it 3D printed and put it on a keychain.
Oh, dude, that's a good idea.
So, you know, you'd be like, I bought this. You know, it's so tiny. But yes, I did this because you have to start realizing as solopreneurs, you really have to be creative. Like you really have to start looking at these tools in a very creative and money-making mindset, right? That's why they're there. All right, so businesses that you can start that don't require any capital. All right, so who here subscribes to Substack newsletters, or like you actually pay for them? Okay, cool. All right, yeah. All right, who here has their own? Okay, all right. So I'm going to be showing you one that I found, and I kind of talked about this one before, and let me see where he's at. I believe this guy right here. All right, so what he does is he has a Substack newsletter that does data-driven like articles, a lot of data science stuff. If anybody wants to do the math, he has, according to this, over 44,000 subscribers, and he charges $15 a month. How much is he making a month?
660K.
Very good. Is that good money these days?
Pretty good. Any day.
Okay. So how does he actually run his team? Does anybody want to take a crack at that? I think he's 29 years old now. Okay. He did go to school for data science and I think math as well. Yes, go ahead.
Probably hires contractors to do a lot of it.
Absolutely. Yes, that's exactly how he does it. So he finds people who are data scientists, people who know like how to crunch the numbers, do data analysis, things like that, and he will throw out a whole bunch of like, hey, these are important topics that are coming up, and then he will have a team of people that go in, do the research, they grab the data, put all that stuff together, and then they bring it in, and then guess what? Now they send it to the writer. The writer puts everything together, and then he goes in and refines what the newsletter format looks like, and then he pushes that out. That's pretty efficient, right? And for the amount of money he's making, I'd say he found the perfect model. Any questions? What did it take to build that? A laptop and some time, right? Like you're literally like slowly going out like, hey, what can I focus on? Because again, how many newsletters have you seen out there that are literally just like, here's all the car meets coming up, and you pay like $5, $10 to like know where to be for if you're a car guy, right? And you're just filling out all this information, you're aggregating it, putting it into one newsletter, and then people pay for that. Okay?
Is it really just like blogs inside? I've never actually seen a Substack.
I mean, like, it depends on how you set it up.
Articles?
It's articles, it's either like private videos that they might create. They might have other sources like Meetups that they have that's only within that letter. And so unless you subscribe to it, you have no idea what else they're going to be doing. So they're going to do private meetups. They're going to have like, hey, here's some videos that we did for this. That's part of the research articles that we have. And then there's also communities that you can join, private Discord servers, things like that. You know. So again, it all depends on like how far you want to take this. If you're really into data science and economics and policy making and things like that, you are going to pay for stuff like this because you're like, man, now I'm part of that exclusive group. And if they have meetups all around the world, now I can join those little enclaves, right? And that's why I say, like, this is the stuff you can sit down with. What data can you aggregate, put into a newsletter, charge $5 or $10 a month, and people want that.
Seems like the play on this is often if it's like hyper specific. Something
Yes,
content
absolutely.
people can't get everywhere.
All right, I'm going to show you one that I have, and where is it? This one right here, I actually have this guy. I'm going to show you this one. So it's an Airtable, okay? And these are all the AI events coming up for this week in San Francisco, okay? Now remember, this is the free version, okay? This is not the paid version. So if you're in San Fran, this is everything happening here. And If you're really good about networking, guess what? Now you don't have to worry about food this week because all those events have food.
Yeah.
And if you know me very well, I don't go grocery shopping. Okay.
So you're good at time management, is what you're saying.
Exactly. See, so there's literally 41 AI events happening this week in San Francisco, Bay Area. Okay? So what could you do with this information that's free? Let me see how creative y'all can really get.
You're saying how could you have a page?
How could you take this that's free and now make money off of it?
Upload it to market.com.
Ooh, very good. Yes, that would be a good idea. Okay, what else? Give me another idea.
Substack, you could be a sales rep for corporate sponsors.
Okay, good. Yes. What else?
You can just hide that food column and say you gotta pay for that one.
Pay me to get the food.
You wanna know where the food is?
Exactly.
You can shuttle people to all these events.
That's right. You could do a whole partnership with these shuttle companies, you know. There's all kinds of ways to make money with this list. Alright, and that's what I'm trying to get you to realize. It's like you can take this and now you can create a wrapper around it for your own business and say like, hey, if you're going out this way, I have you covered for the most important events that are tailored to your business that you need to be at. Now you've done all the work for them, and that saves them a ton of time of where they need to spend their time when they're out, right? So now let's go a little further. Let's go to VC events, okay? Now for VC events and investors, there's 3 coming up this week. Now you know if you're trying to raise money and you're trying to be in rooms with these people that have deep pockets, guess what? I just saved you all that time. And now you know where to be. So if I want to go to, let's say, hackathons, there's five coming up, right? So there you go. If you're in college or you're, you know, an engineer that's looking to spend time building stuff and you want to be around other people, that's where you should spend your time. You could take that and sell it. Or you could take that information and put it on Twitter and create a whole community on it, right? So what else could you do with this?
You could get the events to pay you to promote them.
Very good. That's right. And that's like what pub crawls do, right? Like they pay you to bring people in. Okay? So you could go and subscribe to a ton of free newsletters, right? That just aggregate data for you. And now you can take that and then do a wrapper around that stuff and then basically resell it.
What the,
What's that?
Give that for Austin.
yeah, I had the same question, yeah.
I
What
do.
was that, like your platform that you were just showing?
Oh, that was Airtable.
Oh, okay.
That was Airtable, yeah.
So is there one for Austin?
There is actually for those, and here this would be Austin. There we go. Austin Business Calendar, right? So this is an aggregator right here. So you can go in here, but it aggregates everything for the Austin area, the Round Rock, and then I believe goes maybe down to San Marcos, but covers the whole region area. So you can go in there and really find like what you're looking for. If you only want business stuff, if you only want IT stuff, and again, you can take that information and put a wrapper on it, and then just resell it elsewhere, right? Yes.
Another question, how would you go about advertising?
You could put like $5 ads on Facebook and be like, hey, you know, not doing anything tonight, check out this cool event, right? You could do like ads for like Twitter, things like that. Or you can have like a private Discord and be like, hey, this is awesome events, and if you want access to the Discord, guess what? It's $5. You know, and then they get access to it, you show all the events, this is what's going on, and people share like photos, things like that. There you go. You know.
Facebook group.
Facebook group, yes. Are you familiar with Facebook? So, it's just,
I heard about it.
I heard of that. Wasn't it that way back in but yeah, so this is another one that's out there. So like the idea is like now you understand like there's money to be made in aggregating data. And data is gold, right? So if you can find stuff like this, and now you can just put a wrapper on it and then just basically resell that stuff and just customize it. Who here has done that before?
I've done the Facebook group thing. I
Okay.
led a community in Austin for a little while.
Okay, alright.
But I didn't monetize it. I was just.
Got it.
I mean, I sort of got knock-on benefit from it, but I wasn't.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in Austin. Like Austin is basically considered like what the San Fran, Silicon Valley of Texas. So there's a ton of things going on here. And because you have major universities, you have a lot of talent that comes in, especially during South by Southwest. There's so many people that come here just to see what's going on, we put on events, and then, yeah. So.
You said there is the solution business calendar, that's where you're gonna find all the Austins?
Yeah, that was the one that I just showed, the austinbusinesscalendar.com.
That would be the one?
Yeah, that would be the one. You can go in, sign up, it's free to use, and then I think after a while, the trial period ends, and then it goes just to the daily view account. So then if you want to see all the stuff, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks in advance, you pay for the premium, you know. So if you did that, and let's say you just took only the events that you think people are interested in for your community, and then you put that into a Discord, and then you charge $5, you could do that. Now, how would you promote your Discord even further? Let's see if we can get really creative.
You can say you'll go instead of them, and you pay them, like you go to a DC place.
Okay.
Let's say I'm so and so, I represent this, or you try to get contact where people just want to stay home or they're too busy.
Sure, right, absolutely, you can do that as well. Or you can also have people say like, hey, if you go out and take photos and you post it into our group, I will give you 1 month free. And create that community engagement. You know, and the more they do that, you give them another month free. And then that builds up that traction, right?
Referrals.
Yes, referrals. There is money in referrals, 100%. So, next one. Online course creation. All right, give me the top 3 sites for online course creations. I've seen some sites where like they literally just the grandmother just like, here's how to bake an apple pie, and her granddaughter's like just shooting the video, right? And they just post videos. That's it. Okay, simple things like that. Give me the top 3.
School's gotta be one of them.
Okay. Okay. Yes, it is, but school's sort of new still. Okay. Yes, you could do that. What else?
Experience of that one?
Yeah, that could be one. Yes. But I'm looking for ones that kind of like have bigger audiences now. They've sort of been around for like more than 10 years and new one. Okay.
Khan Academy?
No, they don't allow that.
Oh.
So who here has done this one? Teachable. So Teachable has a very interesting like pricing thing where like you sign up, you do all your courses there, and then basically I can go in and just pay like per month and access like all this different content, and then you get paid based on usage of your courses. Okay, so it's almost like a very interesting partnership, right? Like the more people you can bring to the site, the more money you're going to bring, but it's also like you're helping other creators make more money as well. So I learned about this one for a very long time, and I've seen a lot of people do some really cool stuff on here. A lot of filmmaking stuff, a lot of like handcraft things, baking, teaching, art. So it's really like whatever you can come up with. Like again, you can just do screen recording, like this is how you create 3D models, right? And now that I showed you that tool, you can go home and really take that tool and like, here's how to do this and build a Shopify store with trinkets, you know? And now you have a course, right? So the other one, I wonder who knows this one, Maven. Maven is really interesting. I've known about Maven for a while. To me, it feels like YouTube, except a paywall, right? So you can go in here and see like what people are doing and selling. So if I go here, $700 executive communication influence for senior ICs and managers, $700 right there. Okay, you pay that, you get access to the materials, shows you what it's all about, what to expect, content, course materials, and yeah. So if I go to another one, let's go to become an AI product designer. There's $800. But you know what? They were nice enough to say $799. Okay. So now you can go in here, learn how to design AI powered products and experiences. So you can go in here, see what you're basically buying, and it lays everything out. And who is this for? Shows you what are you going to get out of it, breaks it all down. How much would you bet that a lot of this was written by AI? Absolutely. You're still writing your own content. probably talk.
What is the quality of this kind of content? Because is it just like any one person can go and put it out?
Yes.
So it probably varies quite a bit.
It varies quite a bit, right? Like I saw a guy right there that had a whole slew of products like how to invest, and it was like investing for beginners, and the starting price was like $7,000. You know, and I looked at the material and I was just like, wow, this is so crazy, and it even shows you how many people have bought it already.
Yeah.
So there's a market there, right? Obviously, you know. If I was to teach investing, I'm just like, man, if that's the case, I should start doing 10,000.
I know, right?
You know? So, but yeah, it's these kind of markets that like it gives you options, right? Like you're trying to understand like what other things are people building, and if you already have that expertise in that one field, make the course. Like just get your camera and just start shooting, you know. And we're now at a point where like you don't really need to learn like lighting and all this other camera stuff, because guess what? We have AI tools for that now. You know, so if you need more lighting, throw it into CapCut, add more lighting. You know, there it is. So, all right, the next one I believe is this guy, and he has been around for quite a long time. I remember when he first started, and it exploded in Austin. This was really interesting. This right here, I remember a ton of people posting like stuff in person and virtually, but a lot of the in-person stuff was East Austin. So they have a lot of like in-person stuff as well. So, and illustration, animation. Are you here for Solopreneur? Rise of Solopreneur? Yeah, come on in. Freelance, UI, UX design stuff, graphic design, inspiring courses, so find your style, music fundamentals, YouTube success. So if there's anything out there, like even if you have something small to share, like put it on there. Like probably somebody's interested, like, hey, this is how you trade Pokemon cards. Like this is how you price like baseball cards. Like things like that people will pay for, you know?
It's crazy that people pay for it, because now YouTube has pretty much everything.
Right, yes. And you know, that's the thing that I always get from people, right? Like, it's like, why would I pay for this when I can go search for it on YouTube? And there are some people out there who have the opposite. They're just like, I want to pay for people who did that because they share their time with me. It's how they perceive it, right? So yes, you have the ones that are just like, I can just go to YouTube and just watch it, right? And then you have people here who are making 6 figures doing this stuff, you know? So, and there are people on here who do tarot card stuff, and like, hey, I will teach you how to, you know, do tarot card readings.
But I also see a lot of YouTubers that are kind of like using YouTube as a funnel to sell their course.
Absolutely. I mean, if your video has not included the phrase, oh, by the way, I just dropped a course.
Right.
You know, you're probably behind it. Right? So.
But also I think even I would sometimes pay for it because someone will have some YouTube channel about a topic that I want to know about, but I don't want to like go through each of their videos or something in unstructured or something. I don't want to like really go deep.
So I think the other thing that people also forget is that when you really start to connect with a YouTuber, you sort of develop this like superficial relationship, right? And you really start to feel like you know them, you're connected to them, you really follow them, and when they drop something, you're like, man, I really need to buy this, and I want to be a part of this. I don't want to be left out, right? And there's that feeling as well. So, all right. So the next one. Video content automation creation. This is a big industry that's exploding. So if you are trying to find something that makes a lot of money, my God, the AI tools that are out there is insane. I'm going to show you one that, if you know this tool, I will be very shocked. Who knows this? Wow.
So it's the other one. Cheating.
Yes. There's another one out there. I'm going to show you that one too. But this one right here, I'm going to show you something. Let's see here. find it. Alright, so basically, he made a video, took him 2 hours, and then he ended up making a lot of money from it, but he followed a very specific formula.
Is it that one?
Oh, there it is, right here, yeah. So 200, like, from 2 hours of work on TikTok Shop. So this guy right here, he did a whole, like, tutorial video on how to basically make this stuff. And what happened was that this was a site that just does everything he just showed you instantly. Like, he just shows you what you would call the hard way of doing it, like how to edit the video, how to do the timing right, how to trim, how to do all these things. And basically this just goes in and does it all for you real quick. And whatever product you're selling, whatever it is you're trying to do, you put all your stuff into there, it's like a prompt, and then it spits out your video, you upload it to TikTok, and then it's done. And the reason why this formula works is because these are the videos that have been getting like millions of views, because it follows a very emotional like type of video. And so it's like, hey, have you been having a bad day? Are you feeling lethargic? Are you tired? Do you always feel like nothing's going on in your life? You're hitting all these like universal pain points that people have, and you're using AI imagery to like basically like emphasize that point, and people are like, man, I need to buy that. And this is what this does. It's a wrap, you know. And it works, and it takes off. You know? So you could basically just be like, hey, I make viral TikTok videos, and you just go here and make a video for them real quick. It's like whatever you charge, whatever you're paying for this, you pay for that, and then you just add on your fee, you know. And now you're like TikTok production house. You know?
What's that one called?
This is smartshort.co.
What is the video from YouTube?
So that one is $220,000 from 2 hours of work on TikTok Shop. And this guy right here basically is going in and kind of reviewing that video. So I don't know if you know, but there's another industry in YouTube video marketing, and that is somebody makes a video, and now you go and review the video. You know, or reaction.
Reaction,
Yeah, you know, and that's a whole other industry in itself. It's just like, this guy talked about this, oh, it's so wrong, I would never do that, blah, blah, blah. And now that's making money too, you know, so.
I saw a dude that had a big channel and he would react to songs, but he would go through every song on an album. So each of those was their separate video, just him reacting to the song.
Yeah,
As he
exactly.
listens to it, he's like,
And you know what's crazy is like, now you have younger kids, right? And they're going back and they're listening to what they found out was like the #1 song for like 1973, 1981. And they're reacting to those videos, and it's getting millions of views, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the older generation, they're making comments, they're just like, oh, I grew up with that song in middle school, and you're just now discovering it, you know? But that's business, right? Like, that's making money.
yeah,
So, why not?
yeah.
So, AI app creation. Who here has tried to make an app with AI? Okay, cool, alright. So, let me see if I can go back. Alright, this list right here. Do you see number 49? Riz. What is Riz? I would be very surprised. You know what Riz is. I don't say anything. What is it?
I found this guy on a YouTube video.
Okay.
He, basically it's just gives you the ability to talk better on Tinder.
Okay.
To talk better
Like, you get a response on Tinder or something, and then you feed it into the app, and then the app tells you what to say to the girl.
So for the girls in the room, probably not talking to her. Okay. So I wanted to point that out because if we go back over here, I think I have, where is it? No. This dude right here. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, I know it sounds bad, but let me. I'm hoping you get to hear this.
You can hit the little CC button to turn on closed captions.
Oh yeah, thank you. Alright. So listen to what this dude did. So this is the guy that made ChatGPT Riz, okay? And basically he just sat down and he was trying to figure out like, how do I fix this problem of guys talking to girls? And so he was just like, hey, whenever you have a problem, you screenshot it, send it to the app, it tells you how to respond, and now you can increase your Riz game. So he did that and it took off. He spent $50 on Facebook ads, and then from there, all these guys were just like, I gotta use this. This is phenomenal. And it exploded after that. He made $80,000 in the first month, and then he made over 6 figures in the second month, and it just took off, right? So then he made another app doing the same thing, but since then he's taken that same revenue that he's made, and now he's built out his team below him, right? And now he made an app that helps guys get better in the gym based off the photos that they post. So like, hey, this is my physique right now. What do I do to get this physique? And then AI will go in and tell you how to structure your routine in the gym. You know, and guys pay a lot of money for that stuff. You know, and he already has put out, I think it's like 6 or 7 apps. Each one's doing like 6, 7 figures. Again, not a coder. So. Any comments?
He built the entire app with AI.
What's that?
He built the entire app with
So,
AI.
so if you watch the video, I didn't play the video because it's very long, but I would recommend go back and watch that video because he shows you what he actually did, right? Like, so he said, like, look, I'm not a coder, I don't know how to do anything. You need to walk me through the entire process. I want to build an app that does this, this, and this, right? Tell me the first step to take. And then it says, okay, we need to do this, this, and this. And then he gives out the code, right? Okay, cool. What do I do with this code? And now AI tells like, okay, go to this, put this app here, and then run the code and see what it does. And then he kept doing that over and over. And every time the code messed up, it's like, hey, this code didn't work, it went wrong. How do I fix it? And the AI went in, fixed the error, went back. I don't like this color, I don't like the way this is, can you move this here, can you do this? And he just did that over and over and over until he had the app that he wanted. And then after that, he's like, okay, cool, how do I get into the Apple Store? How do I get it here? And he just explained every single step.
So we don't need app
What is that?
developers anymore.
What's that?
Say that again?
We don't need app developers anymore.
I want to say, you do need to know how to talk.
Right,
To
and that
create
right
an
there,
application, you do
yes.
need to know.
And that's why he
how you
says at
want
the
it.
very end, you need to be very clear on your use cases. If you are not clear on what you're trying to build, it will not work at all. So if you know what the app should look like, and you know what you're trying to do, then that helps, right? But if you're like, I want to build an app that helps people do this, that's way too vague, it's way too general. But it also helps like go into Figma and create a wireframe, right? And you can take the wireframe and build out the workflows, all those things, and then give it to AI and be like, okay, cool, this is what the app should look like, build the back end of it.
Can you do that on the Figma?
Absolutely, you can do it.
Which application is that?
You can use ChatGPT to do that.
You
So
can
like,
use ChatGPT
yeah, because you
to
can
code.
take the image, right? You can take the image, or you can take the first 3 parts and give it to ChatGPT and say, hey, this is what my app looks like. How do I build the code to make that function? And it will do the backend stuff, okay? So you have to realize AI is like a little black box, right? Like it has all the answers in the world, but if you don't know how to ask the right questions, you're gonna get crap. So garbage in, garbage out, right? So that's how I always tell people to look at AI. Like it can give you anything you want, but if you don't know how to ask the right questions, it's completely useless, you know? So there's so many tools out there for you to like start using. Again, AI can now see images, and I believe we're at sound now too. We're at sound, but you can take that stuff, upload an image. How many times have you seen people take like whole whiteboard thing, and they take a picture of it, give it to AI, like cool, organize this room, you know, and then it goes into a spreadsheet. So is that too much? Are we too far in the future? Okay.
Can you go back to the video with the guy so I can write down the title?
Sure. The 23-year-old that made $2.4 million with his first app. And if you don't know Brett Malowski, please watch his videos. He is phenomenal at what he does. He literally started off as an everyday person, and he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never built a company before. I don't even know how to do YouTube. And what he did was he sat down and watched every important person in business and development, and he walks you through the entire process. I mean, he went from being a nobody to now he interviews these amazing people. He puts out phenomenal videos, and he has sort of ranked himself up there, but he would never consider himself at the level like Alex, that dude with
Hormozy.
Yeah, Hormozy, yes. Because that name keeps popping up for some reason. So yeah. But yeah, it was a great video. I watched the whole thing, and he literally lays out his entire workflow process, like how he understands now how to build apps and how he gives out stuff to his teams, how they iterate things and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. There was another guy that I saw who makes faceless like YouTube videos. I think he's like 20 years old or 21 years old. He makes $5 million making faceless videos, and all he focuses on is like shock value stuff. So he'll do a YouTube channel like reactions in a courtroom, right? And he just grabs all this footage, or like he doesn't do it, he has his team do that, and then they just splice it all together, and then they just post videos, and they just get millions of views. You know? So. All right, next one. So video production. So you can go in there and start using all these AI tools for this stuff, and because a lot of it is like text-based prompting now, you can just throw all these video clips in there and say, hey, I want the video in this style with these kinds of transitions, and it will go in and start doing all that for you. So if we look at this, there we go. Yeah, they're right here. Edit videos with prompts. So you can get the clips, you can go in and just start talking to it, and it can start mashing all that stuff together for you. If you want to do TikTok style, if you want a long form video, if you want YouTube, if you want Instagram Reels, things like that. That way you can start using things. It's almost like CapCut. It's really cool. It can do translations. It can do all kinds of things. It's great for like education. So if you're trying to create like training videos for your company, why not, right? Like you can go in there and be like, hey, look, I'm gonna put all this stuff in, upload the training manuals, do all that stuff, create a really cool looking video. And there you go. You can pop it out. Now, of course, like I said, you can do like a production video wrapper, and sell those services, and then people hire you, and now you are a production house.
So I can just find all of the videos that are in English that people are looking at the new technology trending, and just make a video in Spanish for all other people.
I mean, Mr. Beast did that, right? I mean, like how many Mr. Beast channels do we have now that are all like different languages? You know, I mean, like that was how he marketed the world, right? Where you could take this stuff now, take all these old YouTube videos, and now you can just run translations through them, right? You can take stuff that you have and just do translations on that. Now, of course, YouTube now has an auto translator, but again, who knows, right? You can go in there and now you can create all these like really cool videos and create like a paywall, put all this stuff in here, like, hey, this is all translated for this language, and here's a newsletter for it, you know?
I'm saying because when I went to the boot camp to learn how to code,
Yeah.
a lot of those classes that I tried, because I speak Spanish, that's
Sure,
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I would look for the videos, you know, CSS in Spanish, so I would understand and try. But there was so many videos that I would find just in English. And I was like, what if I can just change the language
So you're
to
saying
that faceless?
So you're saying you found a market.
Yeah.
You said you found a market. See? So now you can take that, and now you could be the guy that feeds those videos to Mexico, right? Yeah, you can do that. You know, there's other tools. I mean, you have Plain AI, which is a massive tool in itself. You can go in here and do some really cool things. This is a text to video. And so if you took those videos and then you marketed it down to Mexico or Central America, right? And you're like, hey, look, I have all these training videos, and now you can do this, take my courses for $1,000, and now they get to do the same thing, right? But all you did was just translate it.
Sure, it's still copyright protected.
But if you do like, if you
You can
change
monetize
faces
it
and
as
stuff
well.
like that,
What's that?
would that be copyright? I don't think so, right?
Well, it's
I
one
like-
for one. You just change the language.
There
Yeah,
rules.
if you change the language,
I looked into the
probably
YouTube
images.
rules for that. It's usually like you have to add something substantial to the.
It has to be transformative, your contribution to whatever content that you're.
It does, but there
you're
are
uploading.
ways to do that still in an
I mean,
automated
you can
fashion.
get a script and just tell
Of course.
AI to just change the lyric of that and make a faceless.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, you could take text, take the text, put it into ChatGPT, say, rewrite it, summarize it, rewrite it, and then go through the process yourself by talking about it in a completely new way in your, your language. Now it's a brand new video.
Now you need an application that will take the scripts out of the video. That's also AI.
So remember, every YouTube video already has a transcript with it. So whenever, like, for example, I want to watch a video, I will just have Complexity go in and tell me, like, hey, what are the 5 main points of this video? And then we'll go into the transcript and grab everything and then just give me the bullet points. So I'm lazy, right? Like, that's the point. I want to make sure AI is on point. And I'm going to start pushing AI to be better. So if I know I can have a better way of accessing information, I'm going to use it. Right? So every YouTube video has a transcript option. So if you go in there and like, hey, this video is 3 hours long, give me the 10 bullet points I need to know. And Complexity will go in and read the transcript and just give me the bullet points. Real quick. It's like to watch the video in essence, So, yes.
Is Perplexity better than ChatGPT?
You know what? I actually would say so, but according to the market, Claude 3.5 is actually the top leader right now. But I love Perplexity. Like whenever I have to do research online, I'm like, you know what? I'm super lazy tonight. Can you please go out to the web and find all this stuff and let me know where you go? And it brings it back to me.
Is it free?
It's free.
Oh, no.
So I use like 5 or 6 different AI tools just to see like who's doing what, and then I will have them like get into arguments because I'm like, hey, Perplexity was telling me this, but like Pi, like your cousin over here isn't doing very good, and he gave me the wrong information. Like I don't know what you're talking about. So, all right, so I'm going to show you something that is a tool that is available to use. Just don't freak out. Ready? Again, I hope this works, but I want you to see what he's actually doing with this.
Right. Meetup, internet videos, story, this is how interesting
Alright, what do you think of that? That's available to you now. Remember, it's only going to get better. Right? Like it's still in the nascent stages, but it's only going to get better. So you have this, you have Plenty AI, you have all these other tools out there, and you have Runway, which is way better than this stuff right here, but that's available to you. So you can go in there, it sees the entire transcript of what the actors are saying. You can go in and change the script, and then you can have it match the lips, and go from there. So, who likes that? Who doesn't like that? Yes. Who here does not like that? Good. And who here, this was the first time learning about this? Very cool. Alright, awesome, yes. So now you can go home and rewrite all the scenes, and now they can be the ending that you wanted to be. Alright, so let's go to the next one. Alright, you just saw that right there, redubbing sounding videos. And that right there again is something big, right? Because let's say you shot a video and it was old, right? And you're like, no, I need to update it now, but I don't want to reshoot it. Now you can go back in and just rewrite the whole thing. And now it matches it, same thing, now you did all your stuff, took you 2 minutes, and you can go to lunch, you know? So that's a game changer because now you don't need to hire a crew, you don't need to get camera equipment, lighting, all this stuff, and you just save yourself a ton of money. Explainer videos. That was the one thing that I was talking to you about. Like, explainer videos are a big industry now. How many times have you seen companies where like, hey, this is our explainer video, this is what we're doing, and they go in and they kind of show you like, this is what's happening. That helps, like, even if you're busy, you can go in and have something simple on hand. So let's see if I can. There we go. So, do you know this guy right here? I'm very curious. No? Alright. So, I'm going to show you a tool.
Since one of the characters in our story is a
Alright, I'm going to go back a bit so that way.
instead, we are going to use an AI tool. So just click the link in the description and click here. As you can see,
So, this is from Adobe, right? So, this is Adobe allows you to animate from audio. So, you can take stuff from 11 Labs, and you can take one of these images right here that are static, and then you can upload the audio that you created from 11 Labs, and now it can generate an animation. So, watch.
for our characters to choose from. Since one of the characters in our story is a rabbit, I'll select this one and change the background to green. So that it will be easy to remove the background later when we edit the video. You can also adjust the position of the character by moving it around like this. Alright, now we need to add an audio and convert this character image into a video. To do that, so start with enabling this to get a higher quality audio. As you can see here, we can either record the audio or you can upload an existing audio file here. Since we only have generated the voiceover, let's upload it. So click browse and let's upload the first dialogue of file. Okay, the animation is ready, so let's play it.
Hi, Goatee. Guess what? I learned a new joke today.
Alright, so again, that was created from 11 Labs, and then it was uploaded, and then it followed the lip sync as well, right? So now again, you don't need animators, you don't need those kinds of things, because you can also go and upload your own static images, and then you can animate that as well. So now you can take that, and then pair it off against another character, and now you can do back and forth. So that's why you have all those audio clips to do all that stuff. So you can download that, and then put it into the video editor, and then you can trim that, so that way they have their interaction. Any questions?
What was the tool they was using?
So this is Adobe.
He used that just to get the image.
Oh, so the image itself is already built inside Adobe. So you can go in there if you want to use their stock footage, or if you want to upload your own, you can upload your own as well. You know, so you have two options. But yeah, I wanted to show you that because Adobe is putting out some really amazing stuff, and a lot of people are not aware of like all the tools that they are releasing for free. That you can basically go and like create like simple like animation videos. So if you want to create cool stuff for your kids, if you want to create like an explainer video using animation, this is the best way to start. So you can take little clips like that, throw it into your editor, and now you can have this entire cool video done for you. Yeah. Alright, so the next one will be like, we just covered that, translating the video into any other language for education and training. So again, that's a big market. Like you can do a lot of stuff with that kind of, you know, power in your hands, because before, if you wanted to translate a video, what did you have to do? You know, either hire somebody or, yeah. So, there you go. And now, the last one I'm going to create right here, there's still more, but create an AI chatbot avatars. So again, going back to what we covered earlier, why is that a big market?
Customer service.
Okay, yes, that's a good one. What else?
The loneliness.
Right, exactly. So now you can start creating custom AI avatars for people that you know, are lonely or like they're looking for certain things. And then you can have them kind of work with them. So it can also be the case of like, hey, this is for therapy. So like people who are therapists, they can have this to work with different people who are very introverted, or they have like speech impediments, things like this, that allows them to start getting out of their shell more. But there's actually another one that I think it was this dude. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Oh yeah, so this one right here. This one, this is like an avatar. But I want you to tell me from you how you look at this, what you think of it. So this is Hey Jen, the one I told you about. So what did you think? Did it look human? Did it look interactive? Like, I mean, it still has a lot of work to do, but
it's uncanny as hell. But I can see how like this could allow people to scale. Anyone who's just like does one-on-one consultations or something, you can't really scale that.
Right.
With this you could.
Absolutely, yes. And so you can take that. So who remembers how much revenue they were making in that slide I showed you? They were at what?
Who is this?
Seth?
What's the name of the team?
Hey Jen.
20, 25.
Yeah, it was 20 million, right? And they had how much growth? 1,900% growth, yes. So they were at the bottom of the list, but they were still on the list, right? They were still there. And that right there is why stuff like this is a game changer, because you can go in there and start creating all these different types of avatars for different like companies. If you want to sell them as like customer service reps, or if you want to sell them as like experts in certain industries, you can train your own language models. That in itself would make you like a lot of money from that. So going back, where was it? So if you look at this one right here at the very bottom, Hey Jen was right there, video generation, 20 million, 1,900% in growth. So, yes. So again, creating digital products. So who here has created digital products? Like we just saw that tool that I showed you before that allows you to take a 2D image and make it 3D, and then you can do those kinds of things. So if you did that, now you can start creating like wall art, you can start making like stickers, coloring books, patterns, clip art, things like this, that you can basically throw up onto a Shopify store. We don't talk about Etsy, so let's not worry about that. But you can also do like, what else is there? Gumroad, you can do Gumroad, right? But those are different ways you can take all these AI products and just start populating all of them. If you've ever been to these stores, how many times have you seen like AI products everywhere, right? And it gets a little crazy sometimes. So the next one is creating experiences that only you know how to provide. So that's no capital involved. So what's something there that you could provide an experience for? Like, who here's been the longest in Austin? Like, you should know Austin really well. Right?
Treasure hunt, I don't know.
Very good. Treasure hunt. What else?
Tours.
Okay. What kind of tours? How many times have y'all been to 6th Street and you've seen the drunk history tour on 6th Street? And you're just meeting some guy on the corner, right? And you're just giving him money like, yes, tell me the drunk history of Austin. Okay? Do you need capital to start that business? You know? And you can go over there. Like, you know, and what is another one? Like, there's a photographer that walks around downtown Austin with you and they just take like iconic photos and you pay them like $60, $70, you know? Like, who here could do that right now with their iPhone, right?
There's a few platforms for this, like Airbnb experiences.
That's right. Anything else?
I think like one of the travel websites, the one with the owl, use that.
That's right, yes. So the reason why I bring that up is because this guy, let's see if I can find him. Let's see. we had him up there. Yeah. He was just on. Okay, let me go find him real quick. Alright. So he just came out recently, and what he does is ultimate food tours. And he does it for New York City. And he actually had a really cushy job. Yeah.
Somebody has to eat all the food in New York City. 2 slices of cheese with 3 peanut noodles, and I think that person should be made. My favorite slice of pizza in the city. So these are Fuji's peanut noodles. This is kind of like a dream job that I never knew existed.
That is a Pegasus made of wonton noodles.
My name is Scott Different. I'm 39 years old, and I live in Brooklyn, New York. Last year, I was laid off from
Yeah.
Meta, and now my food tour business brings in about $140,000 a year.
Alright, so I'm gonna stop it right there. I love food. Okay. I should be doing this. Yes. But you see right here, he had a cushy job. He came from Facebook. He had all these like really corporate jobs. He was already making 6 figures, but he started to notice like, hey, you ate out a lot. And people will come in and like, hey, do you know any places we should eat? It's like, yeah, I can take you on this tour. And because he was in Brooklyn, he knew all these like, on-site environments for like restaurants. And now it was like, I can bring you to these restaurants and do these things. So in the video, it shows you like he does Chinese tour restaurant things, he does Italian, he does Indian food, and people pay a lot of money for this stuff. And now he has a website, he has merch, he has all these things, and it all just started out of a hobby, right? And it all grew because he knew all these restaurant owners, and it built from there. So again, I show this because how much capital did he need to do that? I mean, like what, the domain, right? From there, and then after that he built a simple website, and so it basically like paid for itself. So that's why I say like.
I think your GoPro just died.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's the battery, like, and it can only last so long. But that's why I say like these are the things that people will pay for because you provide that experience, like you have that expertise. So if there's something there that you can do for like Austin environment or like somewhere else, like do it. Like you can make money, with that, even if it's a side hustle. Yes.
There's a trend of abandoned mall tours.
Oh, dude, those are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love that stuff.
Super nostalgic and creepy.
Right. And what else is it about that appeal, right? It's the zombie, right? Like man, there could be a zombie outbreak and really the perfect place.
Yeah.
All right, so this is another industry that is growing, and I've been looking at this very carefully here. So who here knows that website? Okay? If you want to take out your phones or laptops or anything, look it up. This is really interesting because what this site does is it's AI stock photos. Okay? But here's where it gets really interesting. All of this stuff looks real, right? Like you would think like, man, they really shot all this stuff. But it's all AI and it's just stock photos. But the reason why I bring this up is because in each photo, here's where this is where the money is. So I can look at this and I can click read more. And I can see the exact prompt that person put in to create that image. So if you created a business that goes to companies that says, I can create your exact product photos because I know how to create the perfect prompt to produce what you're looking for, that's money right there. How much capital do you need to start that? No.
Is it free?
Is this free? No. I mean, like you get to download like 1 photo a day without an account, but if you want to download more, you gotta create an account. But it shows you so much of what's going on. Yes.
Is there any kind of like copyright issues?
So these are stock photos.
Okay.
Okay, so it's free to use or whatever. Okay.
What are they generating?
I mean, either Midjourney or Dolly. If you really want to go further, it has all the information there for the artist. So like if I want to go to the artist itself, I can go into their profile and then I can see like what they're doing. So they've already made 6.4 thousand images. This is how many views they've had, and this is how many downloads they've had. Everything you see here, all AI generated, right? And so you start to notice there's a trend, there's a style. Ooh, I love this. Look at that. It's perfect. Looks like candy. But look at the design of these prompts. These are very, very well thought out prompts, and it shows you like what they're doing to build all this stuff. So if you went to companies, and even if you went to manufacturing firms, do all these kinds of things, now you can do all that for them right off the bat.
Do these artists get anything from these creations?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they get a lot of like requests, you know. And that's where the money is, right? Like
Probably the platform makes the money. I mean,
of course.
The barrier to entry is so low. Most,
Yeah.
99% of the people on this platform are not going to make any money. So.
It's beginning something.
Yeah.
I mean, these
these
tools are available to animators and people who are like designers as well.
I think it kind of comes down to like what we were saying before about perspective and about what people will pay for what. I mean, the guy that you were saying before that goes through and just does reaction videos to every song on an album. Like there are going to be people out in the world that are, you know, Metallica super fans, and they want to know what other people think about these types of things, right? So I even think with something like this, what you're getting, you know, yes, it's free, but it's exposure, right? I see the colors on there, and I think brand kit, your theme of your business. Like, what if somebody's looking for someone who's real good at meshing these types of colors together, and you're like, I can't find anybody that creates something like this, so let me, you know, click on this person, contact them directly, and work with them. I feel like it's exposure. It's about understanding what is like perspective-wise, what is important to that type of person, and then gearing your product towards it.
It's the reason why like stock photos before this, like Pexels and Unsplash and all those things, like a lot of those photographers were hired eventually later on, and they're just like, hey, I love your style, can I hire you to go shoot some of this? So that exposure is huge. And again, how many people know this stuff exists? Very few, right? So this whole industry is still growing, it's still very new. So these people are all first movers in their space. So that gives them a complete advantage for what they're doing. I'm sure somewhere in some, you know, art school they're probably like covering these kinds of things, but for most general population, this was probably your first time exposed to this stuff, you know.
Is there something like that, but for videos? Where I can just
stock videos? Yes, I believe there is. There's also, where is it? I'm trying to remember. I think it's when AI allows you to do this kind of thing. Like something like stock photos. Things like if I just type in like child playing in the garden, things like this, yeah, you can generate that stuff, and you can probably do those things. But yes, I do know that even Upsplash and all those are now adding video to those components because people want those like stock photos, you know, or stock video. So yeah, provide e-commerce research. So if you go in, you could take like e-commerce, which is another big industry, and you can go with stuff like Product Flint, which does aggregating data for like Etsy stores, and you can go in and go like, hey, these are the top selling products right now, these are the big sellers right now, this is what's moving this week, this is what's going on, and now you can put that into like a newsletter, and you can sell that out to people who want to start stores or who want to improve their stores, and that's another industry in itself. And again, all you're doing is aggregating data, and you're just making it look pretty, right? So, and Jungle Scout, you know Jungle Scout, and that one's been around for a long time, but yeah. So you can take stuff like that and be like, hey, this is what's coming up, this is what's going on, these are the suppliers and manufacturers that they pull from, so they're very good at these industries, and you can pull from those kind of products. So, and for people who are just starting out, they will buy that information because they want to know like, hey, where should I start, what should I do? But yeah. And then this one right here, create sound effects and background noise. That in itself is another industry that's growing, right? Like sound effects, noise, I think it's, let's see if I can find that one. It's AI. Yes. So there was a, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so stuff like this right here, like you have sound effect generators, you can go in and just create like a text prompt, and it creates a sound. So if you're trying to make movies, you're trying to do things like that, you can create a whole like soundboard of things. And you can either sell it or you can like design it for people. And it all goes down to how well their prompt really was. So going back to the stock footage stuff, your prompt is what makes you like that style. So you can go into things like this and start creating sound effects for the background. So again, this is good if you're doing TikTok videos. Now you can sort of upload that, put that into your editor, and now you can add more sound effects, right? So. And books. That's the last one right there. So instruction books, manuals, things like that. Even if you like found companies that are like, hey, what do you need done? You can go in and write all the instruction manuals. Like you can go in and like, tell me what's going on. How does this work? I can write your SOPs. I can do things like that, and then just start uploading them to like their databases or like cloud services, and provide that as a service. You know, so because again, there are AI tools just for that. There's Copy AI, and then there's Novel AI, Gravity Write. You know, it goes on and on now. So, but these are some of the tools I kind of covered. So if you're interested in writing some of them down. Ideogram, Gravity Write, Product Flint, Novel AI, Stable, Fast 3D, 11 Labs, Adobe Animation. So yeah. Hopefully it was interesting. You know, I hope you got something out of it. You know, that way you go home and you're just like, you know, all it takes is just a laptop, sitting down, and coming up with creative ideas. And again, if you don't have creativity, ask Pi, have those conversations tonight before you go to bed. You're like, hey, I saw this really cool presentation. I don't know what happened. You know, so. But yeah, so with that, I do have these affiliates right here. So if you use Make or you want to get started in automation, that is my link. You can sign up for like an account. I'll leave it up for a minute. Can you move that for a second? I just don't want to fall. And what did you say?
What is Make?
So Make.com is an automation workflow platform. So for example, like let's say you get an email. Every time you get an email, send me a text message, and then put that into an Excel spreadsheet. So like that's a workflow. So then you can build out these workflows to do like your automation for social media posting, or like for video production, for CRMs and things like that. So it's a really cool platform. It's super powerful, but it does take a bit of time to learn. But people will pay for automation, right? So.
When you can you go back to slide 23, please?
But yeah, play it with like Runway ML Gen 3. It is really cool, like what's happening. There was a video where like it's a dinosaur and somebody's riding a dinosaur and they're running through the forest. And it looks so real, right? Like to make that video in itself probably have cost like a lot of money with the studio. And now you made it on your laptop while watching like, you know, Game of Thrones, and it took no time.
Runway?
Yeah, Runway ML, you know. So they're really pushing it. With like video modeling, and I believe they also run the first AI film festival that's going on. So we are now going into the third year for AI Film Festival, which is partnered with Tribeca Film Festival in New York City. So the first year they had 300 submissions. The second year they had, what do you think? How many submissions? 3,000. That's right. What do you think the next one will be? 30,000. But yeah, it should be really interesting. So. And then Amplify right here. I'm gonna just kind of briefly cover this one because I think it's really cool.
AI judges to judge all those 30,000.
That would be funny.
An AI to watch it.
All right, so this one right here, this is why I mentioned this one, because this one right here, again, like I said, everything I talked about is about data scraping. And so if you can aggregate data really fast, this is a cool tool to learn. And you can use it, sign up, and basically you can scrape TikTok, you can scrape Instagram, you can scrape Amazon, websites, you can monitor websites, you can do all kinds of things with it. Some of the, what is it, down below, trying to give you, like, yeah, right here, like, so you have web scrapers, you have booking scrapers, Amazon product scrapers, YouTube scrapers, Google Maps. So it really goes further. And there's a lot that people have already like created, so you can go in and just like add that and see what it does for you. You know, so. And so what I always do.
I'll take your link.
Oh yeah, sorry. There you go. pass around some books. I have read these books. So who here has read the 10-Day MBA? It's like a 10 years old, but they've updated like several times. It's a really good book, so if you don't want to pay us 6 figures, read this. And then there's Quick Millionaires. This book was written a long time ago, but it still applies today. So people who make money from their laptops and travel the world, this is a really good one. And then this one actually just came out, Smart Startups. So it was basically written by people from Harvard who went in and looked at tons of startups and like how do they do it, what are they solving, how are they like progressing, stuff, things like that. And then the next one is, this is the book this course is based off of. Who here knows this? Right. And that's what I've learned. Like, this is a book that's been around for 7 years, and yet people sometimes doubt like what I tell them, like, hey, as a solopreneur, you can get to 7 figures. This author went out and like basically like, hey, who has the most solopreneurs out there? And she discovered Austin, and most of the people who read this book are from Austin. So it's a good read, and she already wrote a second book, and it goes even further into those details now. And then this is a new book that just came out. I just started reading this 11 to 12 week MBA. So again, you don't really need to get an MBA, but you know, that's just me. Yeah, you can like go to the books if you want to write them down, and then pass them around. And if anybody has questions or things like that, I know we covered a lot. And like I said, the time kind of like flew by. But yes. And if you do have further questions, you can use my Calendly and schedule something. And this one right here, I'm eventually going to be turning into probably like an all-day workshop. So I'm pretty much going to target this to like mid to senior level managers. But this is a book that came out, The New Automation Mindset, and it's really interesting like how to structure like AI within corporations. So if you want to write this one down, you can pass it around, kind of look through it. And did I get that? Alright, perfect. Yes, you have questions?
Will you send the slides?
I can send slides. Just get on where the sign-in list is and put a star by your name if you want the slides. Okay? And that's my LinkedIn, that's my email if you want to like contact me directly. And I appreciate you coming out. So thank you so much. Jenna has also something to say. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I developed along with Chris this program. So a lot of times he's got digital nomad and the one-person business, right? The solo entrepreneur. So we've kind of developed this punch card program now. So a lot of times you'll hear him talk about, you know, use this AI tool, use this, and then also hire a VA to go do all those things for you. Like I said before, I do own a virtual assistant company. And so we've come up with this punch card system. For every 4 classes that you attend, you earn yourself 20 free VA hours. And it would have to be like with an ongoing relationship, but I have special pricing for you guys. The details on here, and I've also created now, which Chris, I'm hoping I didn't get to talk to you beforehand, but I've created an attendance sheet. So when you come in, instead of just signing out a piece of paper, you can scan your QR code, put in the date, email, and your name, and then you just click a button like, I want more, more information from Project Outsource. Yes, no, not right now, but maybe later. Okay, so if you guys want to basically start earning your punch card for even potential use in the future, I would just say go for it. You could literally tell me no and go ask myself, and that's fine too. It's just, I think what is really interesting about his classes is the fact that you come in here, learn so much, and it's always what you do with it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this on the back table along with a couple of these flyers. I do have more flyers if you guys run out, but again, if you want to scan the QR code, if you potentially even want to get yourself a VA, it's a good opportunity to start banking some classes.
And I will also start teaching paid workshops because I know I go through so many of these tools, and sometimes like learning these tools can be a little difficult. I have already played a lot with these tools myself, but it's the application process. Like I've learned like so many entrepreneurs will climb up and like, what else can I use this for? Like creativity is like whatever you can come up with. And that's why we did that exercise earlier. to really like get those creative juices going. So I will be launching like a series of workshops pretty soon. So I will be announcing those in the next session. So again, remember every third Monday is Digital Nomad Lifestyle, and every fourth Monday is this one in this class. So again, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And I will be at Fiesta tomorrow as well, and the AI event. So hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. And if you want to talk further, we'll go downstairs because we have to be out in like 2 minutes. So by the elevators, I'm Chris. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great.
I'd like more for the class time. I just like Austin, and they were there tonight, so I didn't know the whole street. It was like there, and I just
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see you again. Okay, perfect. Great. Which one? Both of them?
Yeah, I'll check out both.
Okay, yeah, and bring some friends. Get them out of like the one. So everybody's doing something in AI. It's a really cool event. So you'll have some demos and all that tailor.com. It actually has all of the information.
I'm not
So when you put your business in there,
Today, yes. Just want to say thanks. I just New York and then I moved to Silicon Valley, California. And Austin's a great place. Very yeah, that's the same here. I'm at IBM and I'm like, I recorded in AI for several years at this point, and I'm just like, myself, I just moved out here and I've been just coming to these events every single week. And my network is just growing and I'm learning so much, especially this kind of really great conflict. I've gone to this more and I've learned probably more than anywhere else. Industry is moving so quickly, it's like, just need to start taking advantage of it, you know what I mean? That's how I feel at this point, you know what I mean? So are you going to any other events while you're out here?
I'm heading out to Dallas tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So I might have to make it for the event that evening.
I love most of you. If you know a venue that would love to have a Okay. Alright. Hey, good to see you again. Yeah.
It works out.
Get in?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I can't even take it.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. I just hope, I think it's a fun time and it, for what I'm doing, nobody wants to talk to me about it. You know, it's like everyone is for investors.
Yeah.
You know, that's really what they're there for.
I've never been to that one.
And I get it. Like, I totally get it.
So did you start what you're doing